Hi, today I'm gonna show you how to make this rib hat. Let's get started. I made this for my doggie. So there's the ear opening and face opening. But if you want one for yourself, you don't need to have the ear and face opening. Or you can actually create the face opening to, get a ski mask. Okay? Any yarn, any needle you want. It's easy pattern. Cast on multiple of 4. I guess it all depends on your yarn and needle. Also your sizes. I made only 80 because this is for my dog. Okay? Just cast on multiple of 4. And I'm using a magic loop technique, which is fold in half like that and pull the cable from the mid section. It doesn't really have to be accurate, but it's up to you. And you connect both ends. Anyway, 2 needle, one with the working yarn and one without working yarn. Okay, so the needle without the working yarn, push back in, and the needle with working yarn, pull. Then start making rib, which is repeat of knit 2 and purl 2, knit 2 and purl 2 until your desired length. Again, if you're making just a hat, just make sure cover your head. And if you want to have the face opening, just make sure where you want to have opening. Cover your mouth and nose or what, eh? Again, this is for my dog. So I want to get the face opening. So once it hits his chin, I stop. And I put the 2 marker. It was about the 2.5 inch from the bottom, and I just want to make sure how much I want the opening for his face. So from the beginning marker, the same number of the stitch left and right. Okay. And it was actually 14 stitches opening, and I'm gonna make rib one more round to the green stitch, which is the second stitch, then cast off for the his face opening. Okay, again one more round, then stop on the second stitch, which is green stitch, then cast off. That's my plan. Again, if this is for you as a ski mask, make sure where you want to cover and where you want to start opening. For sure, you need to have some opening for your eyes, right? Or if you want to have just rib hat, forget about this. Just keep making rib until make sure to cover your head, so you can skip video and go ahead to watch maybe 18 minutes. Around 18 minutes it starts decreasing, right? So if you wanna skip all the opening thing, just forget about this. So I start making rib again past the first stitch, then go around to the second marker. Okay, this is rib hat, so always making rib, which is repeat of knit 2 and purl 2. Okay, then here comes second marker. There we go. Then remove the marker. Now you do bind off. So knit 2, then bind off 1. Then next is purl. So I purl, then bind 1 off. So you have to do this until the orange marker. This is for the face opening. So after this, you just keep making rib again. Next time you will stop is when you hit the bottom of my doggy's ear. Okay, if you're making one for your dog, again, you know, whenever you hit the doggy's bottom of the ear, that's the time you have to stop, because you want to create the opening for ears, right? So you just have to knit back and forth, no more, you know, going around. Okay, so I knit about the 15 row or something. Then, you know, I'm gonna create the ear hole, which is pretty easy. Again, if you just want to make the rib hat, just start, you know, cast on making rib, and just keep making rib until you cover your head, and then start decreasing. That's all you need to do, right? And I'm just try to have fun for my doggy, because you know the Halloween season is coming up. So if you want to make some costume, you know, the hat should be fun, you know, pumpkin hat, something like that. Okay, there you go. It's really hard to see because my doggy is very hairy, but okay, past the chin part, and I hit the bottom of his ear. It's hard to see, but you know, now it's the time that I have to create his ear hole, which is, you know, about the 4 knitting rib from the front, and the other side too. Make sure it's not too front or to back side. It's, you know, just check the right place for his ear. Okay, and I placed the marker for his, you know, the ear hole, and I picked actually knitting stitch because it's easier to bind off for me. Okay, so it's gonna create 3 different part. It's gonna create the 3 different part, you know, the 2 front piece and 1 back piece. Okay, so next row, again rib, but you're just making rib until you hit the first marker, and where the marker is, you will bind off 2 stitches there. Okay, so just to see what I'm doing, Okay, almost there. There you go. I hit the marker. So 2 stitches bind off. That's 1 and 2. Then keep making rib again until second marker, and you do same thing there. Here comes the second marker, and again bind off at the marker. So next row, there are 3 different parts, so you can't just make 3 parts at the same time. You can if you connect 2 other the ball of yarn, but it's gonna get too tangled, so I'm gonna actually knit one by one. That'll be easier for me. It's really up to you. Anyway, this is end of the row. So let's see. So there, one part, right? So I just knit there first. So starting with the wrong side. So every part has to start with wrong side. Okay, you gotta remember that. There you go. That's how it looks. Okay? So obviously you have to count how many rows you made, because the back part and the other side of the face side, you have to knit same rows. And again, there you go, you have to start with wrong side. So please making the rib same number of the row you create for the first face line for 2 other parts, which is back and the other side of his face line. Okay? That's how it looked, and I think the ear opening is enough, because it will stretch. Then now we will reconnect everything, his forehead as well. Okay? So here's easy row actually. Making rib as usual until the ear opening. Then you add 2 stitches there because you bind off 2 stitches earlier. And same thing the other side. Okay, you have to knit over knit stitch and purl over purl stitch. Then whenever you hit the ear hole opening, you have to add new cast, which is 2 of them because you bind off 2 stitch. And adding the new cast, you just have to look my video just like that, easy. Then start making rib again. Okay, that was the knitting stitch, so next should be purl stitch. Okay, so see you at next opening. There you go. That's end of the back of the dog head. And add to new cast. Then finish the other side of the face line. And this is not the end. You have to actually connect, forehead part as well. Okay? So I bind off 14 stitches for his face opening, right? So you have to remember how many stitches you bind off for, the face. And then you have to add same amount of the stitch for the forehead to connect, rejoin the everything. Okay, after you connect, you have to use the magic loop technique again. Okay, and that's new beginning. Then connect it back again. It's a little bit tricky sometimes, but just take your time and make sure it's not twisted or anything. Okay, the needle without the working yarn, push back in, and needle with working yarn, pull, then start making rib. Magic loop technique. If you're not good at the magic loop, try use the longer cable. It's easier, I think. You don't really have to worry about anything if it's long, because if it's short, oh, maybe I shouldn't pull this much, or anything like that. So try to use the longer cable. After you reconnect everything, you just keep knitting for maybe 5 or 6 rows. Then the length is enough. Then let's start decreasing to close the top of your head. So if you're just knitting your hat, this is the time you start watching. Okay? Decrease row number 1. Repeat of purl 2 together and knit 2. Remember, if this was knit 2 section, you gotta knit 2 first. Then repeat of purl 2 together and knit 2. Okay? Mine starts with purl 2. So I did repeat of purl 2 and knit 2. Anyway, every decreasing on this row is at the purl stitch. That's the reason why I took the knitting stitch for his ear. Okay, so decreasing row number 2, purl 1, repeat of purl 1 and knit 2. I just made the purl 2 together, then made it to purl 1. So decreasing row 2 will be repeat of purl 1 and knit 2. Very straightforward. decreasing row 3, repeat of purl 1, and slip 1, purl twice, then knit 1, and pass slip stitch over. Okay, again, purl 1, slip 1, knit 1, and pass slip stitch over. That's decreasing row number 3. Decreasing row number 4, repeat of purl 1 and knit 1. Decreasing row number 5, repeat of just knit 2 together, 1 round. And I stop after decreasing row 5 because there's not too many stitches left, but most likely people knit bigger size. Then decreasing row 6 or knit, and 7 and 8 is knit 2 together, 1 round. Then weave the ends. But this is not finished yet. Okay, you still have to do a little bit around the face. Okay? Now it looks like that. 2 ear opening on the side, then big face opening, and you have to cover a little bit for the face. So starting from anywhere pretty much, facing to the right side, and then you will knit up around the face. Okay, put the needle in and pick up the yarn, just like you're knitting, but there's no stitch, so you have to create the stitch on the edge of the face, and should be multiple of 4 because I still want to do the rib, knit 2 purl 2. So, and if it's really tough to knit up, you can actually use the crochet hook if you want to. I was actually having struggle picking up the yarn. Maybe that's because I was using very skinny yarn, so I decided to use crochet hook. It was actually much easier for me. Anyway, should be multiple of 4, and then making rib on around the face so it kind of stays, right? Again, the facing rib, repeat all, knit 2, purl 2 until your desired length. If you just keep knitting the opening obviously making smaller and smaller, so it's really up to you. But if you're not making rib around the face, it's kind of easy to fall off. So you better do little bit rib edge. That's my opinion. So just keep making rib, then cast off. That's about it. And you can put some pom-pom on top of the head, or nothing on. It's very easy and simple. And it looks like golf club head cover. So if you don't make any hole, maybe you can use this as the golf club head cover. Enjoy!